Hello everyone and welcome to part 6 of this series. In this video, we will be replacing the static mesh ground with a class ground, and we will be using this class to identify whenever the ball uh, hits the ground and we deactivate it. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's go to C++ classes and create a new class of type actor, and let's call it ground. Okay. We want to give our ground a static mesh, so new property, and we want a function. We want to bind a function to whenever the ground is hit. Okay, so void on ground hit. New primitive let's continue. A active. Oh, primitive here. We forgot the I. Okay, so that's our function. Now we want to create our static mesh, and we want to bind the mesh to this on ground hit. We want to bind this ground hit function to our mesh that we create, but first let's change this to false because we don't want it. And then let's create our mesh. So ground mesh, sorry, it's equal to create default sub object view static mesh component text ground mesh, and the root component is this ground mesh. And we want to set notify rigid body collision to true, so it can actually detect hit events. Okay, so set rigid body collision to true. Then in the begin play on component hit, dot add dynamic. Okay. Now here, if other actor, and the other actor is the ball, and how do we check it? By checking if it implements the ball interface. Okay. I ball interface. Let's create a local variable ball interface. Now if ball interface, um, ball interface deactivate to ball. Let's go ahead and compile this. And create a blueprint based on this. And for the mesh, we want to show engine content and look for cube. This one, the engine basic shapes. Okay, and let's hide show engine content. And the material is the blue color. Same on this one. Now, in here, let's right click on ground and replace with, let's go here and click on it just once. Then here, replace select actors with ground PP. Okay, now it is the blueprint, the class, not a static mesh anymore. So if we go ahead and start the game, we notice that the ball is hitting the ground immediately and it's being deactivated. So to avoid that, in here we can check if the ball was launched or not. And if it was launched and it hit the ground, then we deactivate it. Otherwise, we don't want to deactivate it. So let's create a function here, virtual bool override the launch. Okay, so here now, if ball interface get launched boolean, okay, so if it is launched, we deactivate it. Okay, great. Now, if we try to launch it, let's say I launch it a little bit here. You see, it got deactivated. However, the game didn't end, and it should end because, well, it's launched and we didn't score. So it's basically the same as this. So when we hit the ground in our unlimited time game mode, we want to end the game. But however, in our timed game mode later on, when we hit the ground, we don't want to end the game as we said before, because the game will only be ended when the time ends. We already spoke about that. So we need a way to only, since this ground will be used uh, for both game modes, we need to figure out how we can only end the game when the game mode is the unlimited time. So one way to do it is to go into our game mode, our unlimited time game mode, and in here we bind an event, a delegate event, to end the game when we hit the ground. So to do it, we need first to go to our ground header and declare a delegate here. So declare okay f on ball hit ground, or whatever you want to call it. And now let's create it here inside the public so we can access it from our unlimited time game mode. On ball hit ground. Now we want to call this event in here. Okay, so dot broadcast. Now you may be wondering, if we are calling it from here, well, this means it will be called for the unlimited and the limited game mode. Well, that's true, but however, we are only binding a function to this event in our unlimited time game mode. So in our time game mode later on, we won't bind anything to this, and it will be empty. So whenever we call it, it's like we are calling an empty function, a function that has nothing inside. So it will work perfectly fine. Now here in the begin place, we want to get a reference to our ground. So a ground, let's include the header, and also let's include the gameplay statics. Let's make this inside the protected. Okay, so word and the class is this. Now if we got it, if ground on bullhead, okay, the delegate we created, dot add dynamic. Now the function is inside our parent game mode, so a parent game mode, and the function is and game. Now let's go back to our parent game mode header, and the end game here, the function, we need to wrap it with a ufunction macro. Okay, so for it to work, we need to do it. Let's go ahead and try now. Okay, let's change this to public, the end game function. And let's try now. If we hit the ground, we get the restart button, and if we click it, we restart the game. Okay, great. That's it for this tutorial. Most probably in the next tutorial, we will be ending our unlimited time game mode, and in the tutorial after that, we will start with our time game mode tutorial. Okay, so take care, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.